In this video, we're going to take a look at how to do prototyping in your XD. Just let's take a look at this file. So we basically have the wireframe, and based on the wireframe, not exactly, we are not replicating the wireframe's design, but based on the content structure, we are going to build our visual design. And we started with desktop. So we created designs for each of these pages. So we had the home page where this is the home page design, and we have a grid. We were using the 12 column grid here, so we can turn it off. So when you have finished your design, the next stage is to do a prototyping or create a fake working model of this website. So we're going to go to prototype and we'll talk about how this whole thing works. So we are in prototype right now, and we want to say that okay, when you click on works page, it is going to go to the works area here. So to make that connection, it's very simple. You are selecting the button or the hyperlink, and you're dragging and dropping it to the next page, which the works page. So when you click on this, it is going to go to the work page. So that's the basic action. But here you can see that there are a couple of options. So when you drag and drop this connection, you can see on the right side, what is the interaction? So what should the user do with that particular text? So the trigger is tap, which basically means that if they come and click on this, it will go here. You can change the trigger to drag. They can basically drag this. They can use a keyboard or a gamepad, or it can be triggered with voice, but we are not going to do any of that because it's a website. We are going to click tap, so which means again click. So when the user clicks on it, it is going to transition to this page, homepage 1. It's the name is called homepage 1. That's the reason it's going like that. So I think it's a good idea when you do this, you change it to page name so that it's easy to work with. So image expanded, and here this is the about me page. So yeah, all of those are correct. Let's go back to prototype, and we basically made this connection right now, and we can see that when they click on tab, it will transition to works page. And it is saying, does it require any animation while transitioning? Should it dissolve to the next page? Should it slide to the next page, and all that? So since we are creating a website, none of these transitions are required because websites doesn't have transitions. If you are doing an app, you might actually need some of this. Not always, but in some cases when you're designing an app, you might need to use an animation. Now, how does it change, right? There is a transition also here. You can see that it auto animates to the next page, it hyperlinks to the next page, overlays and all those things. You can basically click on anything in here. So if basically it is on the same page and you're linking to the bottom of the page, it will be scrolled to. If you leave it at transition also, it is okay. Nothing, there is no animation here. So it will just move, or it will transition to the next page. So this is by default, whatever setting that you have here is okay to go ahead with. You can also change it to auto animate. I'll show you the difference of what happens in both of this. So let's say if we are going to click on the preview and see the normal animation here. So we have the home page here like this. If you click on works, it just goes to the works page. There is no animation, there is nothing. It just switches to the next page. But so if we go to this transition, we select the transition again, and we change this to auto animate, right? And we are going to preview this again. So when you click on works, you can see that it just animated, that there was a transition which happened. So let me show that once again. Let's play this once again. Watch carefully. When you clicked on works, there was an animation. You can see this image just popped in from side. So it auto animated to the page. Now again, when you are creating a website, these animations are not required, but in an app it might be useful. So we're going to turn it off to transition. So that's more than enough. It just opens the next page. So now we have created one connection where somebody clicks on works, it is going to go to this page. Let's create the other connection. What will happen if somebody clicks on the about page? It will take them to the about page. That connection is also made. Every setting works just like that. It's fine. Now let's talk about what happens in the works page. So somebody clicked on this works button, it went to the works page. What will happen here? So when they are in the workspace, if they click on one image, it will pop up. That is what we have to show. So we're going to say that when you click on this image, it will go to this page. So that connection is also made. It will come here. Now we have to think of the reverse connections, right? How will they go from here? So we'll say that if somebody clicks on this button, it will go back to this because it's a close button. So if they close it, it is going to go back. So we are thinking of the way that they can go back from here. They close, it will come here. Now from here, how will they go back to the home page? The easy way is to click on this logo. And if they click on this logo, they can go to the home page. We have connected that. But that's not the end of it. We have to connect everything, right? So here, we don't have to connect the workspace because we are already in the workspace. But what if somebody comes to the work page and then clicks on this about? Nothing is going to happen, right? So we cannot let that happen. We just drag and drop it to the about page. So they can go from here also to the about section. The same thing will happen here. So if we are in the expand mode, so in this mode, if somebody clicks on works, it will go to the works page. Somebody clicks on about, it will go to the about page. Same thing with menu. If they click on it, it can also go back to the home page. So every connection in here is made. For this page, all the connections are made. If you just drag and select it, you will understand every connections are made. Now, when you're testing it, you will see if there is any dead ends and all that. But now, let's go to the About Me page. So they are in the About Me page right now. We need to give a way back. So if they click on the logo, they will go to home page. They click on Works, they will have to go to the Works page from here. We don't have to connect the About page to anywhere because we are already in the About page. Is there any other link? No, that's it, right? So from all the connections from here are basically made, right? Everything is connected to each other and it works fine. Let's test it out. So we're going to go to the home thing. We can click on this icon right here next to it that it creates a flow. So when you click on it, it creates a flow. So whenever somebody plays on it, it starts from this screen, right? So that's flow number one. So we have created the flow number one here. And let's click play. We can see that this is how the home page opens up. The person can go down, come up, and if they click on works, it will go to this works page. If they click on one work, it will expand into this view. And if they close it, it comes back to this. You can go directly to about from this page and see everything. You want to go to works from this page, that is possible. If you click on the menu or the logo, it will come back to the home page again. And every connection is basically done. So it can go to go. Everything works perfectly fine, right? So our flow is correct, right? It can be tested like this and it works perfectly fine. So we have created the prototype of this flow. Now what we have to do is we have to share it. That's the next step, right? Once we have made the flow, we have to share it with the client or somebody, right? So we're going to go to the third tab here, click on share, and we have flow number one here. So we can maybe call it any name, say desktop, maybe something like that. And view setting, right? You can actually make it into development board. So if you are sharing your design to developers to take the code, to extract the code and work on it, you can actually change it to this. You can change it into a presentation. You can do it for user testing, and you can create your own custom experience. But right now, all we have to do is to set it to design review, and you're going to share it. So basically, anybody can play this prototype, they can click on it and they can see how it works, and they can give a design review. So anyone with the link can access, and you create a link. So it builds a link for you, and it creates a public link, which means that it's on the internet. They made it live on the internet. So if you click on this, it's going to open up in internet. The website will open up just there. It looks exactly like a website which is live, right? So it is here. You can see that, and since it's a user review, the user can, whoever is seeing it can make a comment here. When they come here, they can see the preview of it. So when they click on works, they can see this is what happens. When they click on the works page, it opens up like this, closes, go to about page, they can come back. Everything works fine, right? So you can make a comment like, okay, everything. This comment is going to be there for us, right? See, since I have commented it, it is coming as an owner. So if you are sharing it to a client, the client might actually say this, and then this will come there. You can create a comment for it. So this is a really interesting way to share your design and get your feedback. This can be shared with users to testing. So it can go to the normal users, just like I showed you, there are different options to share, can be shared to developers. So there are so many ways that you can share your work, right? So this is how prototyping happens. And this is the end of prototyping. Now, if you go to, let's say, the back again to XD, you will have an option here called Behance, right? So what you can do is you can click on this and you can do two things here. You can go to the embed option, so the code is going to be copied. So what happens here is that if you go to Behance right now, when you're documenting this project, let's say you're creating a project in Behance. And let's click on a project. So when you're building your project, imagine you're doing that, and you can actually use this embed option to paste the code that we just took from XD and embed it right into your project. So what happens here is that when you're documenting your design project, the users will be able to see your website portfolio right inside your Behance portfolio. They don't have to leave the Behance site or your project page to view your work, right? They will be able to interact with this. They will be able to, show all of those things. So it's a really interesting feature, especially when you're documenting your projects, right? So these are the ways that you can share your work. Now, this is what you have to do in the next phase, right? You create your visual design, you start prototyping it for each device. So now the flow one we have completed for the desktop view. Now you go back to design, you start building your next screens, right? So it's now that you have done this, it's fairly easy. So you just go to the artboard part of it and you just create an artboard for, let's say, a phone, right? So you have that right here, iPhone 14 Pro, and you can basically copy these elements. Sorry, you can take these elements and you can put it there as you need it, right? So if you want the whole thing to be black, you can come here and make it into black, and you can turn on the grids layout here, and you can change it to 4 columns. Say, as I told you, right, in phone, 4 column layout might work really well. So you're going to take all these elements and paste it here, and you will create a screen here. So maybe you don't need the size to be this big. You can bring it down and maybe take the image, put it right here. Let's send back. So we have the text. I will change the color of the text also. So you can modify the look of how your mobile site is going to look like. And whatever other elements that you want to take, you can take it and build it here. You can make it even a scrolling website, so that every content which is in here fills into this mobile view also. So you're doing that, and you can create your second flow there. You are creating all the pages on the mobile, and then you're connecting it and you're sharing that as well, right? So that's how you work on prototypes. Thank you.